Hi, I'm RAMIT VARMA, running for mayor of Los Angeles. I'm here to tell you why I'm pro-vaccine, but I'm against mandates. I think the politicians have put us into a really bad position. They're trying to make us choose between public health and personal liberty. But that's a divisive way to look at an issue that actually is important to all of us. I don't look at it that way. I look at it through the frame I look at everything, which is a frame of rationality, practicality, and empathy. First of all, I believe in science. And I believe the scientists who tell us that if you're fully vaccinated, you're under the age of 65, and you're otherwise healthy, that the likelihood that you are going to contract a serious case of COVID and end up in the hospital is virtually zero. Which means that it's statistically irrelevant to your health if the people around you are vaccinated or not. If you're worried about getting sick with COVID, you should by all means consider getting vaccinated. If that's not your worry, then you should consider talking to your physician, understanding what's right for your body, for yourself, and your personal risk profile, and then you should make a personal decision. As Americans, we are allowed to make decisions for ourselves so long as they don't impact others. I might disagree with your decisions, but it is not my right to mandate your decisions. Like, I might disagree with your decision to eat junk food 10 times a week, but it is not my right to mandate it. Obesity and smoking are currently way bigger public health issues than COVID is. But we're not mandating diet, and we're not mandating exercise. And by the way, we've been overwhelming our medical system with obesity-related issues for years. And so that argument doesn't really hold either. Getting vaccinated is a personal decision, one that you should be allowed to make with your physician's input. What makes sense for my person and my body might not make sense for yours. This is a risk-reward decision. How can the government be the ones who mandates how we should be treating our own body? By the way, it gets even crazier when you think that the two groups pushing back against vaccine mandates the hardest are cops and firefighters. Who has the same risk-reward profile as a cop or a firefighter? I'm not running into a burning building. I'm not running towards the sound of gunfire. So how can we mandate for them what their risk-reward profile should be? I would say we can't. So I'm all for firefighters and cops, men and women, being given the dignity to make their own decisions about their own bodies. We cannot keep forcing them to quit their jobs in order to exercise their rights. Now for the little ones. I have 3 little boys, 5, 7, and 9 years old. And in this age group, the science is crystal clear. The likelihood that your child has a severe adverse reaction to the vaccine is virtually zero. But on the same token, the likelihood that your child contracts COVID and has a severe reaction to COVID is virtually zero. So if you're a mom or you're a dad and you just want a little more time to get comfortable with the idea of putting something new and foreign into your child's body, I understand. I think that mandates at this age group seem unnecessary. I understand the societal importance of vaccines. I'm a science guy. I'm not some anti-vaxxer. I understand that we have mandates for all manner of illnesses, measles, mumps, and rubella, to name a few. But frankly, this situation is not comparable. You may recall that our COVID-19 vaccine development program was called Operation Warp Speed. Can't we have a little bit of empathy for the folks who just want a little more time to get comfortable with the safety of this vaccine? Guys, all this discussion of COVID and vaccines and mandates is very personal to me. Last Christmas, my 11-year-old nephew spent 3 days in the ICU because he got a complication associated with COVID that's called MISC. It's an inflammatory condition that is incredibly dangerous. But luckily in our case, he was able to be treated and is now fine. But that Christmas was the scariest, most terrifying Christmas I have ever spent. We were so terrified, everyone in my family was desperate to get the vaccine as soon as it came out, including his mother. Now, his mother has an autoimmune disease called Sjogren's, which is the same thing that Serena Williams has. Her doctor told her that there were risks to getting the vaccine because she has an autoimmune disease. She got the vaccine and had an immediate reaction that triggered her autoimmune. She's been fighting for her life ever since. Now, we believe that by God's grace, she is going to be fine. But this story highlights something. In our family, we saw 2 incredibly rare side effects, one from COVID and one from the vaccines. So when we think about what we are able to tell and what we should be able to tell an individual or a family to do with regard to the vaccine, that's very scary to me. I don't believe it is the right of our government to tell people what decisions they should be making about their own bodies. That is their decision. And I want to repeat something. I am pro-vaccine. I'm just against mandates. Personally, I believe that the vast majority of people should get vaccinated. My wife Dee Dee and I, we got vaccinated as soon as it was available. But that was our choice. And I think that what we need to stop doing is we need to stop letting the politics divide us. This is an issue that we should all be able to agree upon. We all want to be safe and we all want to feel safe. We need to approach this with the same way we approach all of these issues, with practicality, with rationality, and with empathy.